Good day. Welcome to this discussion for overview of cash and cash equivalents. Um, when we hear of cash or pera, okay? When we hear of cash, we always uh, put in our mind that pera, money, coins, and bills. Okay? I bet you'll agree. Okay? So again, pag sinabi natin cash and cash equivalents, sasabihin agad natin money. Pag sinabi nating money, we have coins or bills or whatever kung tawagin dyan. But generally, yan naman yung terminology na ating nire-relate pag sinabi nating cash. Now, ano nga ba yung meaning ng cash dun sa accounting? Okay? Pag sinabi nating cash dun sa accounting, okay, it actually means money. Okay? It really means money, generally. However, to be specific, ano nga ba yung laman or ano nga ba yung nagko-compose doon sa tinatawag nating cash? Basically, there is a standard that provides that cash actually composes the company's cash on hand or in possession. Pag sinabi natin cash on hand or in possession, yan yung pera na meron talaga yung company. Okay? Pag sinabi natin those in banks, okay? Those in banks, pag sinabi natin those in banks, we have the demand deposits, checking accounts, yung savings accounts. Yun yung mga pera na nasa bangko. Then we have cash funds. Pag sinabi natin cash funds, these are a portion of our cash or company's cash that had been set aside for a specific purpose. Okay? But there are qualifications that we have to consider for an item of cash fund to be considered part of cash. Okay? So, sa accounting generally, pag sinabi nating cash, it is money, which means specifically the cash on hand or in possession ng company, those companies cash in banks and cash funds. Also, cash includes checks or mas kilala natin sa cheque. Pag sinabi natin cheque, yun yung parang papel na pinipresent doon sa banko for encashment. Okay? We technically consider checks as cash, good as cash. However, merong mga certain exception wherein kahit cheque yan, we exclude it as item of cash. Okay? So, therefore, it involves certain exceptions. But generally, pag sinabi nating checks, pera agad yan. Kasi automatic pag na cash, pera naman yung checks. Now, we are new with term cash equivalents. Okay, cash equivalents. Kasi alam natin is cash, pera. But cash equivalents, pag translate natin, parang pera. Okay, parang pera. But actually, cash equivalents, pag sinabi natin sa accounting, okay, these are treated as nearly cash. Okay, nearly cash. Pag sinabing nearly cash, hindi pa siya talaga may ko-consider na item ng cash sa accounting. However, it is really cash na talaga in substance. Cash na talaga siya, pera ba? It has a value of cash or money, pero sa accounting hindi siya totally na nilalagay sa hanay ng cash. Okay? But rather pa, nilalagay natin siya doon sa separate line item na cash equivalent. Kumbaga, ita-translate nearly cash. Okay? So, sa standard, okay, or sa mga accounting standards, in-state na yung cash equivalents, short-term siya na highly liquid investment. Yan yung important na classification muna or qualification ng isang cash equivalent. It must be short-term and highly liquid na investments. Highly liquid investment that because of being highly liquid, kailangan readily convertible to amounts of cash. Readily convertible. So meaning, liquid na talaga siya. When we say liquid, parang equivalent na talaga siya sa cash. Yung cash equivalent. Although, hindi siya hinahanay muna dun sa, hindi muna siya kinaklasify dun sa hanay ng cash na line item. Also, cash equivalents are subject to insignificant risk of changes in value. Okay? Tapos meron siyang ito yung pinaka-importante dun sa standards na nagpo-provide ng definition for cash equivalents. for an item to be considered as cash equivalent, dapat daw kahit short term siya, kahit highly liquid investment, kahit highly convertible, pag hindi pumasok sa sinasabing short maturity, ano yung ibig sabihin ng short maturity? Yung qualification na nakalagay doon, 3 months or less from date of acquisition. Since investment ang cash equivalent, kailangan ina-acquire natin siya or pino-purchase. So therefore, kailangan to qualify as cash equivalent, kailangan i-purchase natin, okay, from the date of purchase, we count 3 months or less para ma-consider as cash equivalents. Because there are items of investment, though convertible to cash, but pag hindi pumasok dyan sa limit or sa period ng 3 months or less, cannot qualify as cash equivalents. Okay? Of course, we are here in the Philippines. Cash and cash equivalents should always be denominated in Philippine peso. Okay? Okay. So, recognition of cash and cash equivalents. We recognize cash and cash equivalents in accounting, okay, particularly for cash if that item of cash is considered unrestricted as to usage, meaning wala kang ibang paggagamitan for that cash. Simply put, general yung use. Wala kang specific na inano sa cash na yan. Okay? Wala kang halos in-state na yung portion na to is for something like this, something like that. Unless otherwise it is cash fund. Kasi yung cash fund parang may specific purpose. Pero may iba tayong i-consider dun sa cash fund para siya ma-consider either cash or not. Okay? But generally, pag sinabi natin cash, free from restrictions. Or kapag hindi nakita yung sinasabing free from restrictions, we can have it readily available for use. Okay? Parehas lang yung dalawa na yan. Pag hindi siya nag-qualify as to the unrestricted as to use or readily available for use, meaning restricted siya. Okay. So, pag restricted, dito papasok yung concept natin sa cash funds kasi yung cash funds may pagka-restricted kasi eh. Kasi what do you mean may pagka-restricted? Na hindi naman ibig sabihin na hindi talaga pwedeng gamitin. Rather, may specific purpose kasi na nilagay doon or in-specify for that fund. But pwede yung fund na yan, kahit may specific purpose, pwede siya pa rin maging part ng account na cash. Okay? So, kung hindi siya papasa as item of cash, pwede siyang other asset. Okay? Pwede siyang other asset, either current or non-current, depending sa nature and purpose. So, titignan ang nature and purpose ng isang item in order to qualify as to cash or not. So, examples of items of cash, we have specifically yung cash on hand, yung pera talaga na meron yung company, cash deposited in banks, either savings, demands, or checkings. Then we have petty cash fund. Pag sinabing petty cash fund, this is a small fund na it's set aside for small expenses. Okay? Later, we're going to discuss it or in a separate discussion for petty cash fund. Then we also have treasury warrants. Okay? Treasury warrants, anong ibig sabihin ng treasury warrants? Treasury warrants are actually more applicable sa government disbursement. Okay? Then we have money orders. Money orders is actually good as checks, good as cash. Then customer checks, specifically. Okay? Generally, customer checks, pag na-receive, automatic cash. Encashment na lang ang kulang. But there are qualifications or considerations na we have to account if that item of check can be really considered as part of cash or not. But technically, pag customers checks, kasi collections yan eh. Pag na-receive, it's collection, then part of cash. Then we also have payroll fund. So, dito na papasok yung may mga sinasabi nating qualifications. For example, yung payroll. Payroll is specifically provided or set aside for paying salaries and wages. But because it is for business purpose, business purpose, or for current operations ng isang company, it is part of our cash. Then we also have interest fund. Interest fund is for purposes of paying interest, lalo na kapag meron tayong mga liabilities that bears or nagkakaroon or parang sa layman term na nanganganak ng interest. Okay? Then we also have tax fund for purposes of taxes. Of course, generally hindi papahuli ang government in collecting taxes. Then we also have travel fund. Travel fund, pag sinabi natin travel fund, we actually mean for this one as for business. For business uh, purpose. So therefore, pag it is not pag not related sa business, for example, parang personal lang, it is not not considered part of cash. It is either other asset. Okay? So for example, kapag merong team building, seminar ang owner or yung mga representative ng isang company, part yon ng cash. Although may pagka medyo restricted lang. But still, usable naman for current business purpose eh. Then we also have dividend. We also have uh, dividend fund for purposes of payment of dividend. Okay, so how are we going to qualify yung sinasabing unrestricted as to use or readily available for use? Kapag kinonsider natin yung item within the normal operations or current business purpose ng isang company. Okay? So, yan yung examples. Yung payroll, part yan ng business operations kasi pinapasweldo mo yung employees mo. Same goes with tax because tax nagbabayad ka regularly dun sa government. Interest, you are paying interest kasi merong maturity yung pagbayad ng interest. Either monthly, quarterly, or annual. Travel fund, generally for business purpose yan. Then dividend fund, payment doon sa returns sa ating mga owners. Okay? Then for cash equivalents, okay, to qualify an item for cash equivalents or its recognition provided na doon sa definition niya. Unang-una, kailangan short term. Short term should be backed by being highly liquid investment, and the two, being short term and highly liquid investment, should be backed with the most important qualification with maturity of 3 months or less from acquisition date. Okay, so titignan mo talaga yung acquisition date. Counting from the acquisition date, 3 months or less, pasok doon sa cash and cash equivalent na line item. Okay? Okay, kapag hindi pumasok doon sa qualifications ng cash equivalents, either other asset din ang qualification sa kanya, either current or non-current, depending this time on the maturity of the investment. Okay? So examples of our cash equivalents, okay? Generally and technically, meron tayo mga clue na binibigay sa mga problem solving. We have there yung 3 months or less na term, or kung hindi given yung phrase na yan, titignan nyo sa date. Okay? At saka kung kailan yung kanyang maturity date. Kailan yung acquisition, kailan yung maturity. Okay? So we have yung BSP Treasury Bills. Okay? We have also government bills, government treasury bills, BSP treasury bills or bank treasury bills, then government bills. Then we have yung time deposit. Time deposit is actually a bank deposit. However, meron actually certain number of months or period na pwede nating ma-ax and magamit yung or ma-withdraw yung cash. Kaya nga tinawag siyang time deposit kasi may specific time. Then we also have money market placements or commercial papers. Then we also have yung, kung makikita nyo man sa mga problem solving, yung tinatawag na redeemable preference share, dapat yung term is investment. Kasi kapag investment, tayo yung nag-acquire sa kanya, 3 months or less from redemption date. Okay, so just be familiar with this item kasi parang Hindi kasi ito nako-consider minsan sa mga problem solving. But pag nakakita ng ganito, tignan nyo yung notation or mga notes sa redeemable preference share if it is an investment on our part. Okay? Kasi kapag hindi yan investment on our part, then it's not cash equivalent. Kapag investment siya, tignan nyo naman kapag acquired siya 3 months or less from redemption date. Okay? So, important consideration is actually the acquisition date. So, titignan nyo palagi yung purchase or acquisition date. Pasok palagi dapat 3 months or less before intended maturity date. Yung redeemable preference share, yung pinaka-maturity date niya is the redemption date to consider as cash equivalents. Then, sa mga problem solving merong sinasabi or tinatawag na tricks. Bibigyan kayo ng mga items na may remaining 3 months or less before maturity, but there's a but. Again, sabi ko kanina, dapat acquisition date yung titignan muna ha, then the maturity. Okay? Pero yung binibigay sa inyo, titignan 3 months or less before maturity, grab agad the opportunity to consider as cash equivalent. Pero pinurchase daw more than 3 months or how many years ago. Kapag ganyan, it will not qualify as cash equivalent. Therefore, pwede siyang i-qualify as other asset or investment. Example niyan is your equity investments. Okay? Yung equity investments or investment in share capital, ano yan? Not considered as cash equivalents. Then, yung redeemable preference share na investment kapag more than ang acquisition mo. More than 3 months. Kapag within 3 months, pasok. Kapag more than, hindi. Okay. So, measurement of our cash and cash equivalents. So, in accounting, after considering and qualifying or classifying each item to cash and cash equivalents, we have to consider kung paano natin siya i-value or i-measure. Basically, we have 3 measurements na dapat i-consider, although iisa lang talaga yung applicable for cash and cash equivalents. So, yung pinaka-applicable talaga, general measurement is face value. Pag sinabing face value, joke. Pag sinabi nating face value, we always consider yung actual talaga. Pag sinabing face value ha, we mean as the actual. Okay? Actual value. Actual value ng pera. So, for example, kapag 1,000 yan, then it's 1,000. Pag 1 million, then 1 million. Okay? Okay? So, for example, in a 1,000 peso bill, parang ano na lang, basic example na lang, yung nakalagay na 1,000, yung 1,000, dun sa face, or yung talaga dun sa mukha ng pera, okay? Yun yung face value niya, yung actual value. Okay? So, general measurement siya. General measurement for cash and cash equivalents. Again, the actual value. Dapat in peso, ha? Dapat in peso kasi Philippine peso tayo. Then, we have also current exchange rate. Yung current exchange rate, pag sinabi natin current exchange rate, applicable yan sa mga cash in foreign deposit. Companies, we cannot deny that companies, kapag multi-millionaires na, o basta mga multi-companies, ganon. Malalaking companies na like, for example, na lang yung San Miguel Corporation, we do not know, mayroon silang mga foreign investment or foreign deposit. Kapag binavalue natin yung mga investment na yun in Philippine peso, we do not directly go with the face value, but we have to look for its current exchange rate. Kung mapapansin nyo sa news or sa internet, yung current exchange rate, pag sinabing current exchange rate, it means the value of cash and cash equivalents in a current and orderly exchange transaction. So, sasabihin nyo, for example, magkano ba yung halaga ng $1 pag kinonvert sa Philippine peso? Yun yung ibig sabihin ng, yung difference nun, yung magpapakonvert ng dollar dun sa peso is concept of current exchange rate. Okay. But for accounting, wag muna agad pag nakita ng foreign deposit tapos may exchange rate, wag munang i-consider as item of cash and cash equivalent. We have to qualify it if merong mga sinasabing foreign restrictions. Okay? Kasi kapag not under foreign restrictions, considered part of cash and cash equivalents. Okay? Kung ano man yung mga foreign restrictions na yan, sa mga problem solving, i-state na lang na restricted as to withdrawal, ganun, kasi maraming foreign restrictions yan i-consider. However, kapag sinabi sa problem na that item of cash or foreign deposit, okay, is under foreign restrictions, then considered siya as other asset, either current or non-current, depending on the use, purpose, maturity of the deposit. Okay? Generally, ito yung general rule kapag foreign deposit. Foreign deposits are actually considered generally as non-current. Generally as non-current ang foreign deposits. Okay? Pag hindi nakastate sa problema, pag hindi nakastate. Okay. Then estimated, we have also estimated realizable value. Ano naman yung ibig sabihin ng estimated realizable value? It is the value applicable to those deposits in closed banks. Okay? Pag sinabing closed banks, mga bankrupt na, nagsarado ng mga bangko, or simply undergoing bankruptcy. So, yung cash na nakadeposit doon, hindi namin i-measure as face value, rather, nasa estimated recoverable amount. Okay? Cash estimated to be recovered na lang. But, conceptually, these items of cash and cash equivalents na nasa closed banks are no longer considered part of cash. Basically, they violates the characteristics of cash being readily available for use. Kasi kapag nasa bankrupt na bangko or financial institution, hindi mo kasi mawi-withdraw ng pangmadalian yung investment mo doon or yung deposit mo doon. So yung ginagawa na lang ng reporting company is that to reclassify that amount of estimated value of cash and cash equivalent as receivable. Okay? So nagiging receivable mo doon sa closed bank, from the closed bank. Okay? So, financial statement presentation ng ating cash and cash equivalents. Okay? Pag nag-prepare ang isang company ng ng kanyang financial statement, particularly the statement of financial position or the balance sheet, all items of cash and cash equivalents, those that meet the definition of cash and cash equivalents, should be presented as part of one line item na cash and cash equivalents. Nasa standard actually yan. Most books generally use cash and cash equivalents na line item if both applicable. Merong cash and merong cash equivalents. But minsan kasi parang yung nare-report lang ng mga companies, meron lang silang cash. Walang cash equivalents. Okay? So, pwede naman, it depends on the current situation or current reporting status. So, part yan ng cash and cash equivalents, yung mga items na yan. Then, the line item of cash and cash equivalents, part yan ng current assets. Okay? So, kapag pumasok ang isang item as cash or cash equivalent, papasok din yan as part of current assets. Okay? Saan yan? Within the statement of financial position or balance sheet. Yung inilalagay na lang dun sa balance sheet is actually the total ng cash and cash equivalents. But the items that composes the total cash and cash equivalents are presented as disclosure in the notes to financial statements. Okay? Disclosures yung naging parang presentation, okay, ng composition ng cash and cash equivalents. Okay? So again, total na lang nilalagay sa balance sheet, but yung notations o yung mga disclosures o yung computations nandun sa notes to financial statements, including the rules, principles, and other accounting policies, okay, adopted by the company in accounting for its cash and cash equivalents. So let us solve this problem. Okay, let's have this problem. High-speed company. Spoiler alert. Lahat po ng company dito, high-speed company ang pangalan. Okay, so let's start with this one. Sabi niya reported the following items of cash and cash equivalents for the year ended December 31. So marami, from cash on hand down to travel fund. Okay, tapos yung requirement sa atin is to compute number 1 for cash, items of cash lang ha. Then for number 2, the items of cash equivalents. Then for number 3, items highlight total current asset. So regardless if it is cash equivalent or not, as long as it is current asset. Then sa number 4, we have highlight total non-current asset. So basically, hindi na papasok yung cash or cash equivalents na items dito na pasok as item of cash or cash equivalent. So other items na hindi pasok sa classification ng current asset, papasok sa non-current asset. Parang basic lang ba dun sa PAS 1 nyo, dun sa FINAC, yung classification ng elements of financial statements and other items of assets. Okay? So let's start with answering with number 1, with cash. Okay? By the way, I have here parang solution format. So let's qualify na lang each item as to cash, cash equivalent, current assets, and current assets. So let's proceed. Let's start with cash on hand. Okay? We're going to solve all the 4 in one setting para mabilisan. Okay. So for cash on hand, ito yung 200,000 na yan, automatic yan as part of cash na tawag nito, cash na column or na classification. So under cash, we have 200,000 dito. Since cash is also current asset, papasok siya as current asset. Okay? Then next, we have cash in bank, BDO, savings account. Wala namang description kung ano ba yung gamit ng cash in bank na yan. Sinabi lang dyan is savings account. So, walang ibang restrictions to withdrawal. So, automatic yung cash in bank, BDO savings account as part of our cash. Okay? So, 1,500,000. Ba't papasok ulit yan again dito sa current assets? Okay? The next, cash in bank, BDO checking account, number 001, 1,200,000. Wala rin istorya kung ano yung other descriptions with 1,200,000 checking account siya, so diretso na 1,200,000. Papasok din yan as current asset na 1,200,000. Okay? So to qualify, meron na tayo ditong items. Yung 200 is acronym na lang. C for cash, CE for cash equivalents. So this one is also cash. Okay? Then this one is also cash. Okay? Then next we have petty cash fund. Petty cash fund, sabi ko kanina, this is a fund set aside for small expenses. Okay? So part din yan ng cash. So 15,000 papasok siya as cash. Papasok din siya as current assets. The next, we have now treasury bills. We all know treasury bills, pwedeng item siya as cash equivalent, but we have to qualify. Sabi niya treasury bills, which is 200,000. Ano yung description? Naka-enclosed. Purchased 2 months before December 31 maturity. So, yung maturity niya is on December 31, pinurchase mo siya 2 months before that. So, pasok siya as cash equivalent. So, we're going to qualify this one as cash equivalent. Okay? So, 200,000, papasok siya as cash equivalent. Pero papasok din siya as current asset. Yan. Then, next we have another treasury bills. Another treasury bills. Pero ano yung description ng treasury bill na yan? Ano yung sabi? 3 months with 3 months remaining maturity. 3 months daw yung remaining maturity. December 31, 2019. Pero pinurchase natin siya 2 years ago pa. So yung 500,000 na to will not qualify as cash equivalent. Okay? So hindi siya cash equivalent but we have to qualify this one as other current asset. CA is for current asset. Okay? So, sa ating qualifications, wala tayong ipupusa sa cash, then sa cash equivalent, pero papasok siya as current asset na 500,000. Okay? Kasi nga within 1 year na, 3 months na lang eh. Then, we also have here time deposits. Time deposits, pero yung description niya 6 months. Okay? 6 months. Pag ganon, item siya ng cash equivalent sana, kaso kasi 6 months eh. So, we're going to qualify this one as other current asset. Okay? Other current asset. So, 600 under the column of current asset. 600,000. Then, ano pa ba? Ito. Time deposits, another time deposits. This time, 3 months yung description. So, pasok agad as cash equivalent. Pasok siya as cash equivalent, papasok din siya as current asset. So, cash equivalent, magkano ulit yun? That is 400,000. Wait. So, 400. Pasok ulit siya sa current asset. Okay. Then, we have money market instruments or commercial papers. We have it 2 months. 150,000 pasok as cash equivalents. So 150,000 papasok as cash equivalents, 150,000 papasok din as current asset, 150,000. Then next we have money market instruments again. However, this time 4 months. Naglampas ng 3 months. Short term pa rin naman. Can be highly liquid. Can be lang ha, can be. Kasi kapag highly liquid sa standard, sabi 3 months eh. But dito 4 months, short term lang, qualified. But within 1 year, so part lang siya ng current asset. Magkano ulit yun? That is 110. 110,000. Then, next, we have Treasury Warrants. Na-mention na to kanina. This is automatic. Part of cash. So, ito, this is cash. Ito pala kanina, yung nasa ibabaw is yung money market instrument. This is other current asset. Okay? So, yung Treasury Warrants, 120,000, part of cash. Pasok siya as current asset, 120,000. The next, we have Treasury Bonds. Hindi to natin na-mention kanina. Treasury Bonds are actually investments. 2 years daw yung maturity, so hindi siya papasok either or among cash equivalents, saka current asset. Rather, automatic siya. Tawag na ito, non-current. NCA na lang. NCA, non-current asset. Okay? So, ilalagay natin siya dito sa kabila. That is 1 million. Okay. 1 million. The next, we have money orders. Sabi ko ulit sa money orders, part of cash. Okay? So, this is cash. So, 220,000. Papasok as cash, 220,000. Papasok din as current asset. The next, mortgage fund. So, hindi to na-mention kanina dun sa funds. This is also cash. Kaso nga lang, this mortgage fund is 4 years. Set aside siya, but yung kanyang purpose is for 4 years. So, hindi siya applicable for current business purpose. Kasi sinisecure niya yung isang 11% mortgage payable. Okay? So, 4 year, that is part of non-current asset. So, NCA. So, we have here 2 million. Then, plant acquisition fund. Plant acquisition fund for acquisition of real estate. The same goes. Non-current asset. NCA din. NCA. That is 1,300,000. Then, we have payroll, automatic payroll. Pag sinabing payroll, part of cash. General cash fund. So, cash, letter C. So, papasok as, tawag nito, papasok siya as cash. Kano ulit yun? 1,100,000. Papasok din as current asset. Then, bond sinking fund. Okay? Bond sinking fund securing 5 year, for 5 year, 10% bond payable. 1,600,000. This is non-current asset. Kasi more than 1 year na eh. For more than 1 year. So, pasok siya as non-current asset. Magkano ulit yun? 1,600,000. Then, we have dividend fund. Dividend fund, 700, automatic, part of cash. So, we have 700. Papasok as cash, papasok din current asset. Then, we have interest fund. Okay? Interest fund. We also have tax fund. Okay? Both are cash. So, cash dito. And cash din dito. So, we have 600 and 800. So, 600,000 papasok as current asset din. Then we have 800,000 papasok din as current asset. Okay? Then we have redemption fund. Okay, redemption fund, hindi daw redeemable preference share. Rather, redemption fund. For redeemable preference shares issued. Tayo daw yung nag-issue, hindi tayo yung may investment. Tayo yung nag-issue. So therefore, this fund is quite restricted. So non-current asset. That is 900,000. Ano nangyari? Sorry. Okay? Then we have insurance fund for 5-year non-life insurance. So automatic non-current asset. Then we have travel fund, naka-enclose, in parentheses, sabi niya, for business purpose. But generally, pag sinabing travel fund, really for business purpose yan. Okay? So this is cash. Yung insurance, non-cash, non-current asset rather. Travel fund, cash. So, unahin muna natin yung insurance. That is part of non-current asset, 950,000. Then, for travel fund, we have part of cash na 400,000. Then, pasok siya sa current asset, 400,000. So, to sum up, yung total ng apat na to, so, to sum ko na lang. Ayan. So, for our number 1, we have so, for item number 1, we have 6,855,000. Tama ba? Then, for cash equivalents, we have 750,000. Then, for current assets, we have 8,815,000. Sana yun? 8,815,000. Then, for our non-current asset, we have 7,750,000. 7,750,000. Okay, so that's it. Okay? Yan yung ating answers. Okay? So, I hope na gets kung paano nakuha yung pag-solve ng sample problem solving 1. Although meron niyang solution dyan. Ginanito ko lang to explain further. Okay? So, that's it. Have a good day.